Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My ex left me for someone who trash talked me and introduced her to cocaine. Rant NSFW. She started lying, cheating and group sex during the relationship. First she was seeing friends, then she wanted a break. She lives now at this guy's house, her family is far away. I don't mind getting broken up and being left. And I know it's her choice to live her life, but how can you convince someone they are being used without them realizing it because they are so addicted? I'm actually worried about her well-being because I still care. I've been doing no contact, but it's hard for me to stop caring. I really want her to get the treatment she needs, and at the same time I'm trying my best not to care. I know it's pointless talking to someone who will lie and deny everything, especially if it feels so good. She is somewhere just exploring herself, I guess, and I respect that, but it's still tearing me apart seeing someone who was close to me destroying themselves. I'm fighting daily depressive suicidal thoughts cause I blame myself. I know I won't do anything, I just feel this is a safe place to vent. The most absurd thing, this happened to me 5 years ago in a similar relationship with someone who had BPD. Back then it changed me, since I didn't know what gaslighting was, and the person and the whole cocaine friend circle tried to do anything to make me go crazy. I was in a very dark place, and after the relationship I tried to self-destroy myself too, cause I hated the monster I became by surviving the most toxic environment I've ever been in, until I became somehow more normal and found back to myself, and this current ex helped me become more by myself. I relearned feeling lost emotions and crying again. And now, partly out of my ignorance, this is happening to me again. She also started gaslighting me cause she doesn't want to lose me and at the same time not admit anything. I know I have to distance myself, but I wish something or someone would just happen and help her out of the misery. Those people lack self-awareness. Since she relied on me and felt betrayed, that I talked bad behind her back to my friend, and she used it impulsive to cheat on me and do drugs, I might think she might have undiagnosed BPD too. I feel guilty for not taking proper responsibility despite the fact I got replaced XD. She might be now in a better company, cause she is not lonely every day, but it doesn't stop her from doing cocaine every weekend at least. I've never done coke and never will, so I just want to understand from at least 2 months use and a steady work life, 5 times a week approximately 8 hours a day, how will it look from now on in the eyes of the consumer? It's not your fault. The best thing you can do is cut all contact. Addicts will manipulate you for their own advantage. Don't fall into that trap. She's an adult, responsible for her own life. Thanks, it means a lot reading those words. I know it's a trap, but it still makes me feel bad for neglecting someone who can't take care of themselves. At the same time, like you said, she's an adult and aware of her choices. You need to take care of yourself, friend. You matter, too. You may think you are in less danger than her, but you will not be able to fully heal from what she's done without completely removing her from your life. Thank you, that's what I'm trying to do. Smile. You cannot help someone who does not want to be helped. Even without all the betrayal, if everything is fine and dandy otherwise, nothing you do will help if they don't help themselves first, especially with drugs like cocaine, which is such an ego booster. None of this is on you, and there is nothing you can do beyond trying to stop letting her drug addiction ruin your life too. Thanks for the supportive words. I won't allow anyone to ruin my life again. Smile. I've seen a lot of bad drug shit firsthand. Watching my friends doing cocaine for the first time really got to me. The second they snorted, their personalities changed for the worse. While on the drug, I mean, it's a really selfish drug. After witnessing it, I told them I didn't want to be around them while doing that drug. It's nasty. I've experienced similar things. Not only that, in the long term you become more selfish, and since your dopamine levels fully rely on coke, nothing else is pleasant without it. The anger issues you get at the weekend just before you go and run to your coke addiction. Cocaine dulls empathy and increases narcissism. Don't be friends with cokeheads cause they will duck you over cause they're addicts. No truer words were ever spoken on Reddit. 100. Thanks, I'm already keeping a safe distance. I still feel bad that I introduced this friend to her though. In the end I started this whole reaction somewhere. No you didn't. If that logic worked then how come you're not a cocaine addict too? You can't take responsibility for this situation, it isn't your fault. Middle dot. This dude said to her, I am annoyed by her talking to her after work and she took it personally and called me the next day. If you are annoyed talking to me, I will talk to other people. I was skeptical about how we got to this topic after I talked one day before with this guy, but I still didn't want to distrust both of them. I knew that it could be only through him, but I hate being paranoid. That's when she started acting weird and seeing her friends. She wanted to get revenge somewhere thinking that I actually don't care about her, but it just shows she truly never cared from the beginning. Thanks for the warming words, it really helps hearing it from somewhere else. Smile. She wasn't seeking revenge, dude, who does that? Over something so wishy-washy? It was just an excuse to do what she was planning on doing anyway. Time to focus on healing yourself. You deserve better than this. Thanks for the reassurance. It means a lot. Smile. I know I do. Flexed bicep. She had been brainwashed. Duck your fake friends for ruined your relationship. You may feel compelled to do so out of genuine love and concern, but do not try to rescue her. She's shown you who she is now. She's made a hard and hopeless choice, but it's her own. I made the mistake of naively going in for the rescue. It backfired in spectacular fashion. You can read my posts. Thanks for the advice, I won't help. Let me check your post. Smile. You cannot fix a relationship by sheer force of will. She has to make these mistakes because she can't be talked out of it by you. In fact, you would probably go deeper into it if you pushed. She has to find herself, one way or the other. You could be there if she reached out, but an addict is untrustworthy, so be vigilant if you do try to help. And you might want to reevaluate your way of picking your mates. You may attract and be attracted to this type of person. Thanks, that's what I'm actually thinking too, which is why I broke the contact. I couldn't bear seeing someone honest turning into someone lying. I don't like and won't tolerate people who aren't authentic. It's not worth my energy and time. She tried reaching out, but I won't tolerate someone reaching out just to further tell me lies, concealing the truth and not being open because of the stigma and the shame of actions she has done. Coke made her turn more selfish and less caring, and I actually don't like who she is now. I actually think BPD women are attracted to me and I don't know why. Weary face, usually they are attracted to narcissists. I think at least I'm not one, but I might have narcissistic traits, but with her even I realized at the beginning the crazy aura. Next time I will just straight run. Wish her the best and find a good one. If you're worried about her, probably share your concerns with her family and then cut all contact. Once you've passed that burden on to someone else, then you can focus on yourself and it's up to them and her as to what to do. She is visiting her family soon, so I'm actually waiting till she visits her family first. At the same time, if this is morally right, it's her right to ruin her life and her family not to know. Also, she might interpret it as me trying to ruin her life, despite trying to help. If she eventually gets help, her sober mind will be able to see it for what it is, and that's all you can hope for. But if it's something that is preventing you from focusing on yourself, you have to detach from how you think she will take it and focus on your own healing. I will most likely tell her family, once they are in reach of her. Until then it doesn't make sense. I know she will hate me, but she needs urgent help. Your brain cells are limited and no amount of psychedelics will bring them back. I'm focusing on myself, I'm training daily, starting reading books, stopped playing video games, meditating daily. Only hard thing is keeping the consistency to be disciplined. You're on the right track to healing up. Remember that you can't change the past, but you can change the future, and that it's okay to focus on yourself. I hope all the best for you. Thank you for your support. Smile. I will go on a walk soon. It's a nice sunny Sunday. I wish you a nice Sunday and the best too. While I feel sorry in some ways, I will also say there are many who have had to deal with drug addiction in their personal lives. Mine was a nephew who stole a lot from the family. I would focus more on you and less on her. I know it sounds tough, but that is where you are. I would change the locks to your place, else they will break in and take your stuff and sell it. Install cameras around the place. I would also go with the notion at some point you will have to press charges for theft. They have to supply the dealer with cash and they will not be above selling your stuff and her body to get what they need, to be blunt. I would lose the idea of convincing her of anything. She has to hit rock bottom and she has to decide when she is ready to stop. Otherwise it will continue, and this is something they talk about in rehab. Think 12 steps, etc. Last point, I would suggest you speak to a counselor or a psychologist. Why is because you have made 2 choices in which both partners had a similar experience. This would preclude a background in which you are able to sense this type of person and are drawn to them. Similar to an addict finding another addict for a fix. This person is no longer the person they were, please remember that. Good luck. She will visit her family soon, so I'm considering telling her family when she is going there, which will force her to go out of her cocaine friend circle. Do you think this is a good idea? Thanks for the advice. I will keep this person out of my life. I'm considering going to a counselor or psychologist. I'm just really scared of opening up since I have this trauma that people will use everything against me. It hurts to realize that this person is not anymore who they are, but that's just how it is. Smile. Have a good day. I would open up to a professional. That is what we are supposed to do. They are supposed to assist us and allow us to become better. If the question is about telling others, I might hold off until you and the professional can come to terms on that point. I would not be comfortable answering the question about family. If you are close and they trust you, I might inform them she has taken to a different lifestyle, one you cannot support and that you will be distancing yourself from. Best to let them see for themselves. Thanks a lot. This sounds very plausible. I never was really close, so I will just not tell them at all. They should see for themselves, and if there is some curiosity striking, they can always contact me. I just needed that reassurance. I want to open up to a professional. I'm just very comfortable and thinking I will manage, but I think no matter how much I try to talk myself out of it, it is very much needed. Thanks for the excellent advice. I'm sorry this is happening to you. You already know that an addict cannot be helped until they want help. In the meantime, they will just manipulate you to assist them in getting and using drugs. It is perfectly natural that you feel like you have to white knight her. You love her and you are human. That means you are one of the good guys. Stay one of the good guys. Good luck. Thanks, it means a lot. It's not that I'm a white knight, it's just the memory of how childish and dependent she was on me, that my instinct of protecting her pure naive personality from this cruel world kicked in. 4 years ago, I did everything I thought possible to convince my ex-wife, who had cheated and moved in with the AP, that he had a history of mental, emotional, and possible physical abuse. I tried pointing out the red flags, showing her that even if she didn't want to be with me, that this guy was luring her in with false promises and she would have a better future on her own. All it did was further push her towards him. All I could do was watch as she lost tons of weight, started applying makeup like she was 17 again, and basically turned herself into the image of a woman he wanted her to be. Eventually I became so disgusted with her behavior I cut her off completely. The point of my little story above is that there is nothing you can do to save her, my friend. She will not listen to reason. Anyone who tries to tell her how unhealthy or bad it is for her will just drive her further down the rabbit hole. Her growth has to come from her. You don't need to be waiting in the wings to hold her hand through it. Also, remember that none of the nonsense that comes out of her mouth about justifying her cheating is in any way a reflection on you as a person. Please don't take the blame for her own bad behavior and bad character. She did this to herself, she made the choices herself. Nobody forced her to do what she did. Take care of yourself, my friend. Thanks a lot. She still thinks I'm in the dark. I never confronted, just left. I will try not to blame myself, but there is this depression that I could have done things better and maybe avoided the whole situation. I know deep down a person who would have cared for me wouldn't have even come to a point risking to lose me, which is why I'm happy about the situation. It just showed her worst character, which she adapted now on as her new personality. Do you think telling her family makes sense, once she has to go visit them and be out of the coke friend circle, or push them more towards it afterwards? Honestly, I doubt any good will come of you trying to tell her family what is going on. Even though you have the best of intentions, telling her family likely won't result in any lasting change for her. Likely it would get turned back on you for being a crazy ex who won't leave her alone. Honestly, her addictions will catch up to her, and they will find out eventually anyway. The best option you have right now is to sever all contact with her, her family, and friends. It seems cruel, but the best path towards healing is to go absolutely no contact. I can't say that with certainty though, your mileage may vary. But for me, I finally started healing after I told my ex to never contact me and that I never want to see her again. This is not your fault or doing, she made a choice. Cut yourself out of her life, get rid of all her stuff, let her family know what she is doing and where she is. Then let them deal with it. I did already, I just let her family know. You can't feel sorry about someone who made the choice. It's not like she was put or forced in that position. People have the choice to be good people or be trash. If fate or destiny really existed, then we wouldn't be having these choices that come in our lives. Thank you for your wise words. I personally think destiny gives us the choice to choose in such situations. People make excuses for their behavior, like blaming their horrible personalities on their star sign or not being accountable for their actions. I know it's hard to turn off the feeling and probably hope she'll come back. You'll be setting yourself up with more heartbreak if she doesn't come back or becomes more broken over time when she decides to. She is also not entitled to your time when you get over her and she decides to come back. Just because I miss her and there are some feelings involved, doesn't mean she isn't trash. I know I'm better off without her, it's just the struggle that I care about someone for who is destroying themselves. And yes, you are completely right. It's just an excuse. Better than expected. What's better than expected? Embarrassed smiley face. Your actions cause some to defend their WS/WP of their actions, do the pick-me dance, and hope they will come back begging for forgiveness. This is a painful situation to be in. I have been in a similar place, with a person who cheated and did drugs, and each tendency was making the other more damaging and powerful. There is no way you can help her, I assure you. She can only help herself. I wish you good luck in moving on, however hard that might be. Also, I think this is a situation to reflect upon. If it happens once, it's just an unfortunate casualty. But if you find yourself repeating a pattern with two very similar girls, then there is some important room for learning about yourself. What draws you to them in the first place? Is it some savior complex? How is this fragility attractive in the beginning? You can find some precious insights by focusing on you rather than her. While you think of how to save her, you're postponing saving yourself. It's a beautiful journey, not only a painful one. Good luck. I'm sorry that you experienced something similar. Most of the time they have a strong facade, but once you get into a proper conversation, when they realize I care, I don't keep meaningless relationships, they open up and talk about their trauma. It's not that I'm drawn to them, more like they are drawn to me. Most of the girls who showed interest in me have some childhood trauma. Mainly who got abused, bullied, raped, etc. I'm not thinking of saving her, I'm thinking of actually getting her proper help by telling her only support circle, which is her family, far away. I'm going through the feeling of letting someone go which I got too comfortable with. Telling someone in her family is a viable option. So at least they know, even if I doubt they'll be able to do something. being attracted to each other is a reciprocal thing. They have been drawn to you, but you also have been drawn to them. Otherwise you wouldn't have been together. We see things in others before we consciously realize we do. And that's the part I invite you to explore, if you don't want to repeat a pattern over and over. All you can do is inform her family and leave it at that. Thanks, I might do that, smile. What sucks about these breakups is that it's hard to let go of them. May take a week or may take 2 years. I'm a dweller, so it was hard taking my ex out of my mind for good. Distractions and mantras worked for me. It might not be for you. If you read some of these stories on the sub here, you can see where some of them were able to cut them out of their lives because they realized their own worth. Some are possibly going through what you're going through with kids involved. That is harder to separate yourself from that if you had kids. You should go no contact but keep a line of communication open, but don't tell her you'll be there for her because that would open you up to be manipulated in the future. You have cheating and drugs involved. I went no contact for some weeks now. I picked up my stuff and got straight a new number. Let her go. Into white snow. As long as she's snorting herself up, possibly other drugs like meth or crack and more, she will never care about you and your feelings. Her circle of friends is definitely bad news for her, and she will realize it one day because it will hit her hardest possible in the worst way than what she put you through. She may be in jail or in a morgue all because of her bad choices. Hell, she would have found herself homeless, and she may try to go back to you just for a place to crash. Leeching your finances, too. Never go back with her even if she already had been rehabbed and redeemed. You were a good guy, a positive person for her, but she'd unducked herself up beyond all recognition. Hang in there, it will be over soon and you won't feel guilty. Eventually, there would be a better girlfriend for you somewhere. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night. Wherever you are.